Hello, everyone. This is Satoru Iwata from Nintendo. I'm coming to you from a large conference room on the 7th floor of the Nintendo headquarters in Kyoto. At the end of the month, we will be holding our annual general meetings of shareholders. Today, we'd like to deliver directly to you updates on games that we will be showing at E3 2013, which starts in Los Angeles in just a few hours. We are broadcasting this Nintendo Direct simultaneously around the world, so thank you for joining us today. First, please take a look at this.
What's up, everybody? And no need for further introduction if you've kept following up to this point, but wanted to just give my very last opinions about the very last thing that happened. I think the last big thing that everybody was kind of looking forward to, and it was Nintendo. Now, Nintendo, I think we can all definitely agree when we say that their presence at E3 really wasn't even felt that much up until this moment. You know, when the first day hit, nobody could have imagined that Nintendo would be just like a cameo. They're the ones that released their next generation console, the Wii U, and nobody cares because there's no games for it. Seriously. They spent the last couple of years trying to convince you that the Wii U is the way of the future, but it isn't. I mean, it's I mean, as far as what it is, it's a current generation console that games have never looked better than they are there, but we haven't actually seen much since the days of where it first came out. It's been one of these console launches that a lot of people wonder if Nintendo really even knew what they were doing. And but in fact, it's gotten to the point where I don't even have one. I don't have a Wii U, and I find that to be very disheartening because the reality is there really aren't many reasons to get a Wii U. So E3 was the perfect place to get a hold of, of my interest, like to answer the question, this is why you want a Wii U. This is why we want you to get a Wii U. These are the games that you are legitimately going to be so excited over that you're going to get a Wii U. And leading up to the actual event, I started hearing things like how they weren't even going to be there doing a conference, how they were just going to keep it low key. I mean, whether they're doing it because the Wii U is struggling and they don't want to put in so much resource, but as it turns out, they were actually there. They had a booth. They had some of it for the press. There's like a separate event that they did. And they also had this event where they did rent the Nokia Theater, and they had for retailers, which I find that very, very strange. Kind of find it more as a damage control more than anything. But really the only Excuse me for a second. The only thing that I think a lot of people were wondering was, how was Nintendo going to bounce back? How was Nintendo going to deal with these two big powerhouse consoles competing with each other? I mean, what were they going to do? And unfortunately, what they did was, I personally think that, you know, as great as Nintendo has been throughout my entire life, I mean, I've owned every single Nintendo console up until the Wii U, which I still don't have one. Is the Nintendo can always get you excited. I was not excited about the Wii U as much, and it's morely their fault. They kept on promoting it as the console with the cool controller, but in its core, it's really just a Wii. A lot of people would call it's called a Wii U. I was like, it's a Wii U, it's a Wii update. So, you know, I mean, and the fact that EA doesn't want to do any games for it anymore. And but anyway, this little rant is about to end, and I'd like to keep this word in mind: lazy. That is the theme of today's video, in correspondence to Nintendo. Now, don't get me wrong, I got really, really excited when I watched it. I had tons of problems watching this thing the first time. You can look below down at the comments, not the comments, at the video description below, and you could see that a link that I posted about my issues, my woes with watching it, and my initial impressions. Since then, my opinions have changed because I was able to watch this Nintendo Direct, and that is where laziness comes in. They didn't do an event. They weren't present in E3. They didn't do a live thing. They just broadcasted a pre-recorded Nintendo Direct for everybody at the same time, and everybody got to watch it, and everybody got to post their opinions, and everybody got to like pick it apart. And I honestly really think it just rubs me the wrong way when they just throw their hands in the air and going, well, we're not going to be able to compete with these guys, so let's just keep it low key. Well, a little bit more on that later, but let's instead just start talking about everything that the entire Nintendo team decided to show us for today. And by entire Nintendo team, I mean Satoru Iwata. Only Satoru Iwata. This entire Nintendo Direct, the entire 40-something minute long, which is already pretty short already as it is, hosted by only one person. And who is it that they put in to host this thing? Probably the blandest, most uninteresting, boring. You know, if I commented too much about how Aisha Tyler just drove me nuts, this is the complete polar opposite of Aisha Tyler. He's bland, he's uninteresting, he never moves, he never seems excited about the products that he's talking about. I mean, he fancies himself as a programmer, but he just doesn't show any sort of emotion. I mean, this is the console that you are pushing people, and he's talking all the way over in Japan, and he shows us like this big empty room. I'm just like, are you guys clearing? Is this a clearance that you guys are doing? Are you guys moving? It's just I mean, I never thought I would say this, but you know what? In Nintendo, in Japan, I would think that you would get like a ton of like video memorabilia. You'd be standing in front of it, like proud to say that you're gonna show Nintendo, like what I'm doing, you know. But he's just standing on this bland background, and there's this little Japanese like painting like to his upper left or right or whatever, and then he starts to talk about the stuff that's going to come out. He starts talking about the games that are coming out on the 3DS and on the Wii U, and they start with Pokemon Y and X. or X and Y. Whichever, I said it right, just lowered it. Pokemon X and Y apparently goes through a new region. No big shocker there. And what it is it's like they're presenting it to be like the first Pokemon game that is fully 3D. It's not just an updated version of the game that has been made over and over in different regions with different Pokemon. It seems that now we're getting something reminiscing the Pokemon Stadium days, in which they have now fully animated and fully realistically looking Pokemon on it. They are introducing a brand new fairy type now. They're introducing a new Pokemon type, a fairy type, and that's pretty cool. I mean, except that you're taking Pokemon that have already existed for some time, and now you're already reclassifying them again. So, is it a reclassification, or are we getting like new Pokemon? I heard that Eevee's apparently now getting a brand new form with this new fairy type, and I think that's pretty cool. So, me considering myself, I'm not a huge Pokemon aficionado, but I can definitely say, let me see if I could find this here. Without a shadow of a doubt, I should have been prepared. I have a Pokédex up to the games that I've got, but I rebought the Pokédex on the 3DS. It was on sale. I got now the entire 600 and something Pokédex on there, so that's pretty cool. Another thing that they wanted to do is that they were showing how you can. It's called Pokemon Ami, in which apparently you can Pokemon and Me, I think it's what I meant to say, but he kept on saying Pokemon Ami. I was like, okay, whatever. It's apparently this sort of like Nintendogs-ish interaction with your Pokemon. Now you get to feed your Pokemon, you get to pet your Pokemon, you get to copy gestures with your Pokemon. It's not explained too much in the trailer. The only thing that he says, Satoru Iwata, is pretty much it creates deeper bonds with your Pokemon. That could mean a bajillion things, but the fact that your Pokemon it can create this bond with you, sort of trying to emulate this Ash effect. You know how Ash isn't really like just a Pokemon trainer; he's their friend. It comes out on October the 12th. And that I think is very exciting for Pokemon fans. The next game they talk about is for the Wii U, and it's Super Mario 3D World. I was kind of a bit surprised that they didn't just flat out just create a brand new type of game for the Wii U. Like how Super Mario 64 started, and then for the GameCube they did Sunshine, and then how in the Wii they got both Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2. I would have thought they would have jumped off to do a different type of Mario game, but they're doing like a game similar to the one on the 3DS. It can allow you to use Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Princess Peach, which I find that very charming, because it reminisces all the way back to the times where I was playing Super Mario Brothers 2 when I was playing it on the NES. I thought that was really nice of them to do this. They introduced a brand new power-up, and it's called Cat Mario. Apparently everybody could do it, but Cat Mario, it's like a cat suit. And this cat suit basically allows you to slash enemies. It allows you to climb walls. It's a bell. It's a little cute little bell. And you get the bell, you can turn into Cat Mario. And I thought that was really cute, seriously. and well, there it is. And it can play 4 players cooperatively as well, it seems. And that is very, very cool. Nothing we haven't already seen before. But at the same time, something that they've updated to make it for the Wii U. So this would be a game that would get me to get a Wii U. I mean, so far they're already doing it, but I kind of wish that they would just push themselves a little further. It's like, give us the next type of Mario game that we're going to play, not an updated, upscaled Super Mario 3D Land one, but you know what? It's a Mario game. You know, can't complain. It's a Mario game. I'm psyched. I mean, you got the Justice League of the Mushroom Kingdom here, and they're coming out, and really, really awesome. Speaking of of these guys, there's a new Mario Kart game, and it's called Mario Kart 8, and it's beautiful. The game looks absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it gives you like the feeling that you're playing with, these other Mario Kart games, but the environments look a lot more prettier. They introduced this concept of zero gravity attachments, which apparently now you can definitely kind of just like move in different areas. I'm getting flashbacks of F-Zero for the N64, how you could just spin around and it was insanity. So if it's anything like that, then yes, you can just totally just like switch to like hang glides in the air as well. It's obviously going to be online, and I was very impressed. This game is definitely something that would get anyone in the hardcore fan to stay with Nintendo. This game comes out in spring, and this is going to be yet another thing that you're going to start noticing throughout this entire thing. It's like a lot of these games aren't even going to be coming out this year. These are games that are going to be coming out soon, but that's nothing that isn't normal for for E3, giving you what's coming later. So, but I think a lot of people are wondering what are they going to do between then and now, because now is when they need the sales, not then, now. But we know what that they kind of do that a bit. They did it with the 3DS, how the poor launch came out, and then the game started coming out, and ultimately it's holding its feet now. He started talking about Wii Party U and Wii Fit U, two titles I could not give two craps about. Although I could give a crap about Wii Fit, because Wii Fit, I mean, now I think personally I've been getting more fit. Wii Fit can definitely work. I've got the Wii Fit balance board. But apparently, Satoru Iwata made it seem as though these two games were highly anticipated. No, they aren't. They didn't even look all that exciting. So, sorry guys, you're not going to convince me. But these games are coming out in October and December. And, hey, you know what? If you guys like it, this is your cup of tea. This is when they're going to come out. But seriously, if Satoru Iwata thinks that he's going to get me excited about two titles I don't give two craps about, telling me how people are looking forward to these games, no, you're not convincing me. Sorry, he does not look like a convincing looking person, and he's boring. So he's boring me to tears at this point. I even jog it down. He then starts talking about the Miiverse, about how he noticed that a lot of people were drawing making these really cool drawings inside of Miiverse, and that's pretty cool. I mean, but to make it into something like, oh, people are getting into this Miiverse. Yeah, everyone is craving for something to do with the Miiverse. So they take this game that's called Art Academy, and it's on the 3DS. So now they're creating Art Academy, and with the purpose of being able to post in the Miiverse. And if it basically gives you the ability to use pencils and pastels and colored pencils as well. A lot of artistic instruments that you could use. But Satoru Iwata kind of just pushed this, Miiverse. Wouldn't you want to like post on Facebook, share on Twitter, anything like the social networks? I mean, if you're only going to post on, give people the ability to just post these works of art that they do on Miiverse, what's the point? Because, I mean, if it's only on Miiverse, it's only going to be relevant for the people who are playing the Wii U. But if you want to share it with people, I suppose that you could probably like have the ability to maybe save it on an external device. But that simplicity is way beyond Nintendo's imagination. I mean, they're sort of in their own world. They're just like, no, we're in a Miiverse, Miiverse, Miiverse. And of course, he had no details of this launch at all. He just said that they were going to do it. Boom, let's move on. And then they start talking about third party, which is something that Nintendo, I mean, I got down here like a collection of majority of the games that are on the GameCube. They're all almost third party games. So but what I'm trying to get at is that Nintendo, they played this trailer of all the upcoming third-party games that are going to be coming out. They showed that they were going to be that with Black Flag, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag was coming out. Batman Arkham Origins is coming out. A director's cut version of Deus Ex Human Revolution, which I think it's really cool that Nintendo decided to jump on a game that's, been out for a while again. Just Dance 4, of course, Rayman Legends, which is, another one of those anticipated Ubisoft titles. Scribblenauts again, this DC version of Scribblenauts. Disney Infinity and Disney Planes is also coming out as well. A new Shin Megami Tensei game is also coming out as well. Skylanders, of course, because why not? And then they started showing us games like Splinter Cell Blacklist. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. Like they're keeping it up, keep releasing these games. This new Sonic game called Sonic Lost World. And then they said Watch Dogs. And I was like, really? Watch Dogs? Awesome. And then that's it. Then they just kind of moved on to the next one. I was very, very disappointed with this segment because I kind of wish they would have shown us what Watch Dogs would be like on the Wii U. They showed how you could pretty much just cooperate with people. Maybe there's like another player that can assist you while playing Watch Dogs. Well, the Wii U already has the Wii U controller that's got a tablet interface in it, and basically this would have been very great to show off how Watch Dogs played on the Wii U. They could have had a good opportunity to show you how any of these other games played on the Wii U, but they didn't. All they did was just show like a highlight reel of third-party games that are coming out, and then whatever, let's go on to the next subject, which they even had less to say. A bunch of digital eShop games that are, some of them look okay. I mean, they showed Oddworld as well as one of them, but really just no. They're nothing really just exciting about these games. If Satoru Iwata is showing any sort of excitement about the third-party developers, I am not seeing it. But then again, I'm not seeing any sort of personality permeate from, Satoru Iwata. I'm just seeing this poor Japanese man just standing there with things that are beyond his understanding. And they are not beyond his understanding. These are things that he's worked with because he's gone to say that he's a programmer. So seriously, come on, guys. Then they showed The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker, which I was also very excited about. They showed it with updated graphics. It looks prettier. But the thing that I have to say about this is that this game kind of looks pretty much the same. It's like an updated, upscaled. To me, it's sort of like The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD. It's like an upscaled version of it. I mean, I don't know if they're remaking it again. I do not know how far they're going with this. But I find it kind of disheartening that they're not working on a new Zelda game. I mean, and they showed us last year how a Legend of Zelda game would look on the Wii U with updated graphics, with how the possibilities were just awesome. But they didn't, so kind of weird. And also, Wind Waker is a game that we've all played already, but it's great that they're offering it again. I love the Legend of Zelda. I mean, I love the freaking Legend of Zelda. I mean, freaking love the Wind Waker as well. I mean, let's be honest with you guys. I mean, the Wind Waker is one of my favorite Nintendo games. And to tell you the truth, I don't mind playing it again on the Wii U. It's just that it's something that I've already done before. I want a new Zelda game. I mean, this game was amazing. You gotta give me new. But you know what? I'm not much to complain. At least they are bringing games that are getting you interested in getting something like that. But then all of a sudden, they start talking about the Wonderful 101. And the Wonderful 101 might actually be one of those games. Surprisingly, the Wonderful 101 is a game they had last year, and they mentioned it not once during their presentation. And then they focused on the Wonderful 101. And the Wonderful 101 is a game that's done by Platinum Games, the guys that did Bayonetta, Vanquish, and this is one which it seems very exciting how you can just get a bunch of people and use them combined to take down monsters and with just different abilities. It's a really crazy game, and Wonderful 101 definitely is one of those games that I think could push. I mean, if you got more games like this, like different IPs that are focused, that makes I take advantage of the Wii U. And it's like they're telling you, it's like you can get this only here, and you should get this only here. That is something that I think it's coming out on September 15th, so that game's not long from coming out. And more info, not here, of course. So keep watching later or catch up with somebody from another website, because why bother? Nintendo's not here to do too much work. They're just here to show you what they've got, and they're going home, because why compete with the major consoles, right? But anyway, they start talking about Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, a new DKC game that's being worked by the same team that worked before with these games. I kind of wish that they Retro Studios would come out and just said they're working on a new Metroid game, but they're working on more Donkey Kong, and I am not complaining about this, because seriously, Donkey Kong Country Returns was a really good game. I'm still playing it on the 3DS. They introduced this game that's very much pretty much the same, with even more updated graphics, and it looks really great. Dixie Khan is also in this game. Dixie's back, and this game comes out in November as well, and coming up this year in November. A lot of people complained about what I just said, about how Retro Studios were thought that they would be creating the new Zelda game, whereas it turns out they're doing another DKC game. Well, we'll get to another overall theme with this. So they then started talking about the exclusive Bayonetta 2 for the Wii U. At this point, my stream went completely screwed up. But I then resaw the trailer, and Bayonetta 2 looks bizarrely awesome. It looks ridiculous. It's just like the first game, and Bayonetta looks freaking sexy as ever, and I gotta see John as well. She's also there as well, just taking on these new forces. It seems like the dark and the white and the light forces are going to be clashing up again, and the plot of the first game just really blew my head wide open, just kind of like how convoluted. If you were into it for the action, seriously, Bayonetta is one of those games where I will pop in every so often just to play again, and just love it, and I love that it's coming out again. Kinda wish it was with other systems. I wish that it wouldn't just not be for the Wii U, but if Platinum Games didn't think that this game would sell as much, I think what they wanted to do was just like, you know what, if people want this game, they have to come get it here. And that's a good strategy. You know, in terms of marketing, getting it on, having only one place to get it would make you not just get this thing to get this game, but get this game as well. I mean, a lot of people were like, really? I mean, I don't blame everybody for being mad. I mean, I would love to play this game on the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4 or on any of the current consoles, but it's only on Wii U, and it looks brilliantly awesome. Then they started talking about a Monolith Soft game that I think this game is definitively one of the original ones that I think just kind of got people very curious about. And it was this game called X. They were saying it's like it's called kind of like Xenoblade, like the Xenoblade Chronicles games, but it's done by the same team that did Xenoblade Chronicles, and the game it just looks beautiful. It's like a mash up between like Monster Hunter almost and mechs, but it's really great to see RPG-ish type of games still exist. You know, like Japanese style type of these games. They're saying that like they prefer more of the Western style ones, like the BioWare games, and the Eastern ones are, you know, they sort of antiquated and outdated. But you know what? This game looks really good, so I'm definitely liking it. And then the last game that they decided to show was the game that made me seriously freak out in excitement. Super Smash Brothers is back, and they're talking about how it's going to be for both the 3DS and for the Wii U. They're discussing how each in its differences, they've got like different graphic styles for each and every one of them, and they're showing how updated it looks for the Wii U. Seriously, not noticed too many differences graphically. But I mean, we're definitely going to notice, because when we saw the graphics, how they got updated, you know, how, you know, they started playing for the Wii, we noticed that the game definitely looked a little better. But when you're talking about moving into HD, we're gonna notice this humongous chunk of big changes, and they're already talking about different things in the game. They have something about the sweep that is gone apparently, and I don't know. A lot of people were picky about that. They introduced 3 new characters. One of them didn't arrive in the Nintendo Direct. I didn't even notice that they talked about this character, the Wii Fit Trainer, and that is in the realm of Mr. Game & Watch. What the hell? Because nobody knows who Mr. Game & Watch is. Only the highly devoted Nintendo people are like, oh my goodness, this is Mr. Game & Watch. And he was annoying as all hell, but you know, they brought Mr. I mean, as obscure as that, other than that would be Robbie the Robot. You go, Rob this thing, it looks like Robbie the Robot. It's like robot operated buddy, and he was awesome. He was one of my favorite characters in Brawl, Robin. Another thing they also introduced, but see, the Wii Fit Trainer was like, she uses exercises as attacks, and it's silly as hell to see when I saw the trailer, but I definitely liked it. Then they introduced the Villager. Just the Villager is like the character that you use in Animal Crossing. You know, if you look at, let me see if I could find it. You look at Animal Crossing. He's the guy that like is always, like he's always like the guy that you control, or if you look at it's this guy. Can you see? I'm pointing it up there at the city folk. That's pretty much him. Exactly him, basically. And one of the cool abilities that he would show is that apparently he could capture you, and then he has this ability in which apparently you can absorb any projectile that they throw at you. You could use it back as an attack, and they showed how Samus's like beam, charge beam, boom, went back. He caught it and threw it back at her, and I thought that was really cool. And of course, this. I don't know if, I think many of you already know this, but they had to come out and do it. They had to come out and they had to do this. Yes! This guy is in the game. Mega Man is in freaking Super Smash Brothers. And he's not just current, he is the 8-bit version that we came to know and love. And I mean, it's kind of funny how Capcom has sort of just kind of, because of Keiji Inafune leaving, has sort of just kind of taken Mega Man's legacy and just kind of gave it the, we don't really care about it anymore. But then all of a sudden now he is in Super Smash Brothers, and he is the Mega Man that we all grew up with, and he's got multiple abilities, and he interswaps between certain skills, and he's got Rush in the game too. I wonder if Beat's in the game too, but he's got Rush in this game too, and I am just freaking out. I was like so excited, and it was like so it was like so awesome when I saw Mega Man, and Mega Man was just is junk, ridiculous, just crunk. And it was like, wow, okay, this is how you end a presentation. If they had done it live, and this is how you ended the presentation, I think people would have definitely taken Nintendo going, oh my god, these guys came to play this year. But unfortunately they didn't. And that's where this sort of thing kind of just ends, you know. Talks about Satoru Iwata basically goes and shows you the booths, and they're like, oh, here are the booths, here's what you will see us have, and the booths, they look kind of uninspiring, you know. You see Luigi there because it's the year of the Luigi. Keep hammering that fact over and over and over. It's like, this is the year of the Luigi. But you know what? The year Mario has had a lot of glory, so let's give Luigi a year. The year will be over, and then Nintendo will regain their sanity back and be like, okay, the year Luigi's over. What's next? and that ends the Nintendo Direct. And I feel that this video went a bit longer because personally of personal gripes of what I've got. And I'm not complaining. I don't want people to misunderstand that with the games that they showed were exciting. They were very exciting games. I am happy that we are getting a Mario game. I am happy that we're getting a Zelda game. I am extremely happy that we're getting a Super Smash Brothers game. I am psyched as all hell for when those two come out, for the 3DS and for the Wii U. If I ever get a Wii U, that's a game I'm totally jumping in to get. But the problem is, we go back to the word that I was talking about earlier. Laziness. Lazy. Satoru Iwata was the only person giving this thing. He was the only one that was there. And Nintendo, I mean, you couldn't have just gotten, I mean, like, who do you normally see when associate Nintendo with cool presentations? Satoru Iwata? Shigeru Miyamoto? No, Shigeru Miyamoto is awesome to see every once in a while, but you need the translator with him because he has poor English, and that's not his fault. But you know, when you're trying to get people excited, you bring that other little white boy twerp that does all the translating, the guy that does the works in the treehouse, the guy that's always got that creepy little smile all the time. And nothing ever seems to bother him. He kind of looks like one of the robots from Artificial Intelligence. Seriously, that guy creeps me out. But he gets you excited about these games too. He talks about them, but he wasn't there either. The Treehouse wasn't there either. I mean, they show trailers of the team. Like, for example, the lead from Smash Brothers. He explains it, but he doesn't explain it in this presentation. And to me, it just shows how lazy they are. And the laziest thing is Reggie, because Reggie, he was at E3, yeah, but he wasn't at this thing. Why didn't you not tape Reggie and have him talk about the state of Nintendo? Why didn't you have him talk about the games? Why didn't you have this man who has a lot of personality? I would have paid $1 billion for him to just say on camera, "My body is ready." Do you know how pumped I would have been to hear that at least? But no. Nintendo had this laziness of them for themselves. I mean, they felt, I think that, the people will tell me that it's because, Nintendo can't afford to do this. But you know what? Nintendo can afford to do a new version of New Super Mario Brothers U with Luigi on it. They have the resources to make a game that they're not selling and then remake it again to offer Luigi, because that's what they think that everybody wants. No, everybody wants games. They don't just want one game. They don't want two games. They want a bunch of games we want reasons. And that's another problem with this Nintendo Direct. The Nintendo Direct got me excited for Nintendo again. Seriously, I'm very, very happy. But I don't think they have enough reasons to warrant a Wii U purchase. They still are wondering, what is it that this console makes it stand out from the others, from the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One? Why do you just not make a gameplay footage on this Nintendo Direct and show people Watch Dogs, how it's played? Instead, nothing. They just browse through the third-party games. They just browse through the 3D shop, the eShop games like nothing. And I honestly I expected more. I expected effort. That's what I wanted, effort. But to me, that's another thing that I think, another word comes to mind. It's safe. They were lazy and they played it safe. They brought a bunch of things that they figured that the fans would be crazy about, and they were right. Some fans were really crazy. I definitely enjoy having these games, come out and show us all this great stuff that's coming out later. But the reality is that, these are games that seem to have been garnered success from the 3DS. And for example, the reason that people got into the 3DS again is because they re-released Ocarina of Time updated. So we'll just do an updated version of Wind Waker. Donkey Kong Country was one of the games that a lot of people bought, and they bought it again for the 3DS. So let's just do another Donkey Kong Country game for the Wii U. Oh, Super Mario 3D Land was really great. Let's do one for the Wii U. And the other games like the Monolith Soft game and Bayonetta 2 and all those games, I think, stood out more than the games that Nintendo promoted. Mario Kart 7 was successful, has been a successful franchise. So let's do one for the Wii U. I'm not complaining that those games are coming out. I just wish that they brought something new to the table. The Wonderful 101, it's amazing. I'm definitely, if I get a Wii U and people show me that both the Monolith Soft game and this Wonderful 101 game was something that I definitely wanted, I would totally go get it. Games like Zombie U last year, people were very impressed with, even though they're just not talked about often enough. But I wish they would just keep the momentum going. But I think this year they also had this other feeling, the feeling of defeat. I think they felt that they just you know what, we're never going to beat Sony and Microsoft, not now. Obviously I think that we've missed the opportunity, and that is, to me, sad. Can the Wii U bounce back? Yeah, it can, but I have a very, very distinct feeling that unless they come out next year with a presentation with games that we haven't heard before, a new Legend of Zelda game, a Mario game that is updated to the max. Push the limits of your developers, not just keep them doing the same thing. Not that these games aren't fun or anything. I mean, I love these games. I mean, it's a problem because I want new things. I want to buy a Wii U. And in spite of all of these games that are coming out, I still don't want one. And, you know, I said if they include Super Smash Brothers in a bundle on the Wii U with an expanded space with it, like more space, and I can pay $350, you bet your butt I'm gonna get that version of that Wii U. But that's my take. Now, what do I think Nintendo's got coming forward? You know what? All these games got everybody very excited. So I do hope for Nintendo. I mean, they are the sentimental favorite. I love Nintendo, and I hope and I wish so honestly for the best. But Nintendo needs a new direction. They need to put effort. These Nintendo Directs are effortless. They don't convey any emotion. They're professional presentation. They're being made for people that are going to invest in these games. We don't get excited when we see Nintendo Directs. We get excited for the trailers that they show of Nintendo Direct. They have to stop getting Satoru Iwata doing these. He is not cut up for talking about video games. He can make them, but he just can't talk about them. He does not convey any sort of excitement. I do not want to see Satoru Iwata on stage ever again, or at any sort of event. But you know what? If he's at stage on a presentation, at the very least, you can enjoy and appreciate things that are as they are happening. And you can expect Reggie to come out and be, you know, funny or quirky or whatever, but not him for almost 50 minutes. Seriously, Nintendo, this has been a longer rant than usual, but, you know, Nintendo, they came out, they were very simple, like I said, almost to the point of laziness, but at least they got people excited for a lot of these games. Will it be enough? We'll just have to wait and see. Most of these games are coming out next year, later this year, so we're just going to have to see what Nintendo does between now and then. So with that ends my Nintendo Direct impressions and recap of everything that happened. If you guys like what you saw here, let me know down in the comments, and or give it a thumbs up if you want. And if you guys have any opinions of the state of Nintendo, if you guys want to just share something with me or anything, you guys let me know. Because I am a fan of Nintendo. I love Nintendo, and I want Nintendo to succeed. And I feel they are the only ones that are kicking themselves down. So get back up and show us why you guys matter. And I think they did a bit more effort this year than last year. So, but I think when they showed more games this year, they should have put more effort on how they were presenting them, because it was a very, very lazy approach. Don't ever do this again, Nintendo. Seriously. E3, bring your guns and just fire away. And let the chips fall where they may. However expensive it would be, you guys have got to put this future of your company ahead of you. So, anyway, guys, thank y'all for watching. And, that concludes my my presentation. So the next videos that I'm going to be doing is games that were talked on the side that I definitely want to look forward to. The games that I'm most anticipating for in the next year, and also who won E3. I'll put them all in just one video. So y'all have a good day, and thank you for watching. This is Fico. This has been my gaming mind.